Welcome to this custom-tailored deep dive. So you know that feeling when you sit through like a heavy hour-long lecture, fill up 3 entire pages of paper, and you just assume you actually learned something?
Oh, absolutely. We do that all the time.
Right, but then you look at those pages a week later, and it's basically like reading a foreign language.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dan Vanden in Red Rubber Duck's Learning and Study Skill Guide actually calls this the understood everything, don't remember anything phenomenon. You know, you put in the hours, but the retention just totally evaporates. We constantly confuse the physical act of transcribing with the actual mental act of understanding. So today's mission is to basically rescue you from that trap using Dan Vanden's Mentaticus method.
Which I'm super excited to unpack.
Yeah, well, the core philosophy here is actually refreshingly blunt. Vanden says, learning isn't a trend, structure still works, square not hip.
Square, not hip. I mean, I love that. And the foundational quirk of this entire method is how you look at a blank piece of notebook paper, right?
Exactly.
Because you divide it into 3 horizontal sections, but really unconventionally, you start taking your notes at the absolute bottom of the page.
I know it sounds totally backward.
It really does. Okay, so let's dig into this. You're sitting in the lecture hall. You stay down there in the bottom third. What's the actual strategy here? Like, are we furiously copying down every slide?
Actually, it's the exact opposite. I mean, if you write down every single word, you're just competing to win some fast note writing award. You know, you're not trying to learn.
Right, you're just a human typewriter at that point.
Exactly. So in this bottom section, you use visual shorthand, you leave empty lines between topics, and you really prioritize fully concentrating on the meaning over writing speed.
So it reminds me of like panning for gold.
Oh, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, because you're aggressively scooping up all this raw dirt and pebbles from the river. You aren't trying to forge a piece of fine jewelry right there in the water. You're just capturing the raw material.
Spot on. But, you know, leaving that raw material sitting in the pan doesn't actually do you any good.
Right.
Human memory starts decaying the second you walk out those lecture hall doors. Yeah. So you have to refine that dirt before the context fades.
So we have to beat the clock. And the method gives you like a strict 30-minute window after class ends. What are we actually doing in that time?
Well, this is where you move up to the middle section of your page. Yeah. Well, the professor's voice is still really vivid in your brain. You scan the raw dirt at the bottom,
Okay.
and you underline the key words and extract those big concepts into that middle section. It's essentially like building a table of contents.
Just extracting the absolute necessities.
Right. And then you just quickly cross-reference it with your bottom notes to ensure no crucial details slip through.
Okay, forcing that rapid distillation makes total sense. But I know that writing a summary apparently isn't enough to really cement it, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You have to physically prove to yourself that you grasp the big picture.
By vocalizing that middle section out loud, right? Like in your own words.
Yes, exactly. It acts as a verbal anchor. The cognitive friction of translating those written concepts into spoken language exposes the gaps in your understanding. I mean, if you stumble explaining it to an empty room, you don't actually own the knowledge yet.
That is so true. Okay, but I have to push back on this bizarre page layout for a second. Practically speaking, why force ourselves to write bottom to top? I mean, it feels completely backward.
I get it, but moving up the page is, well, it's the entire genius of the system because of what comes next. Within 24 hours of the class, you move up to the very top third of the page.
Okay, the last blank section.
Right. Here you define 1 to 3 core, frequently asked questions about the material, along with short answers. And these act as your structural anchors.
So let me visualize this for a second. On a single piece of paper, you have these FAQs at the very top, a course summary in the middle, and then your messy chronological notes all the way at the bottom.
Exactly. Putting the bottom line at the top of the page sets up what Vanden calls a compound interest review.
Compound interest review, how does that work?
Well, weeks later when you sit down to study, your eyes naturally start at the top of the page. You read an FAQ, and your brain instantly tries to retrieve the answer before you read any further.
Oh, I see. You skim the core concepts first, completely avoiding that trap of mindlessly rereading your raw notes again and again.
You got it. The mechanism here relies entirely on active recall. Skimming the top triggers your memory.
And you only look down at the messy bottom section if you're truly stuck.
Exactly. Each time you successfully recall the info from just those top cues, the neural pathway gets stronger. The knowledge is literally physically compounding in your brain.
Wow. So what does this all mean for you listening? It's really a high leverage strategy. You front load the effort, spending 30 minutes immediately after class, and then just a few minutes the next day.
Yeah, and it ultimately saves you hours of frustrating review time later. You build a habit of closure.
Which is huge.
It is. You automatically start looking for meaning instead of just recording a neutral stream of data.
It's brilliant. It really makes you rethink how you consume information entirely. I mean, if our working memory is so easily overwhelmed, imagine how this three-section visual filtering could apply beyond just classes. It's designed around the exact sequence of how human memory gathers, connects, and retrieves data.
Which perfectly captures the Mentabicus motto, right? Learning isn't a trend. Structure still works. Square, not hip.
I love that motto. It really grounds the whole philosophy.
Yeah, it's about doing the hard structural work up front, so the knowledge actually stays with you.
Which leaves you with an important question to consider as you step back into your day. We live in a world just overflowing with instant information and digital safety nets.
Right, AI summaries everywhere.
Exactly. So here's a thought for you. If you lost all your notes and devices right now, if you were left with absolutely nothing but your own mind, how much of your foundational knowledge is truly anchored in your brain, ready to be used under pressure?
Yeah. Do you have a structural house you can actually live in, or just a heavy pile of hoarded bricks?
Remember this. You are a biological organism with strict limits on your attention. Do not act like a human tape recorder. Act like an architect.
I love that.
Embrace the slowness at the frontier. Translate what you hear. Build the hidden house of structure in the middle of your page and put the definitive bottom line right at the top.
Yes.
Use the scaffolding. Let the structure do the heavy lifting for you.
It demands a profound shift in how we respect our own intellect.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we consider the ultimate consequence of avoiding this structural work, it raises a rather unsettling question, one that pushes beyond the Mentabicus text itself.
Unsettled.
Yes. If we accept that building this structural hierarchy is the only way to truly own knowledge, it makes you wonder about the future of human intuition.
Oh, wait, how so?
Well, if we continually outsource all of our structural thinking to AI summaries and instant digital transcripts,
Yeah.
we aren't just losing our ability to memorize facts.
Right.
We might be systematically eroding our ability to have gut instincts about complex problems.
Wow.
Intuition isn't magic. It is the subconscious rapid firing of deeply owned, structurally organized knowledge. If you never build a hidden house in your own mind, will you still be able to trust your gut when the screens go dark?
That is a brilliant and genuinely terrifying thought to end on. Are we trading our deep intuition for instant summaries?
It's something to think about.
The answer depends entirely on how much effort we are willing to put into building our own blueprints. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'll leave you with the reminder that brought us here today. Every story needs structure. Every mind needs a map. Square, not hip. We'll see you next time.